Hey y'all! So this will be a continuation of the video I made, I think last time, with the 6 worlds in the 6-spoke wheel Neotradition. First, I'm gonna do a little rundown of what I said in that last video. Not all of it, but like just the stuff you need to know for this video. But I'll do a rundown of the deity of this world. And then I'll talk about some magic and things you can do spiritually, ritually, spellcraftly, I guess, in this world and surrounding this world specifically. Because you can do spellcraft in all worlds. So, a recap is the 6 worlds in the 6-spoke wheel Neotradition are above or upwards, below, downwards, forwards, backwards, left, and right. Or leftwards and rightwards. All the words. Each of these worlds has a dominant element. The dominant elements go as follows. Above is air, below is soil, forwards is energy, backwards is stillness, left is heat, right is cold. You may notice that there's 6 elements and they don't exactly coincide with the traditional 4 elements. I know that is what I've learned through spirit communication. That is something I've deeply experienced and believe and know almost to be true. That is not me saying that if you believe in the fire, earth, water, air paradigm or fire, earth, water, air, spirit paradigm, then you're wrong and I'm right and blah, blah, blah. Like, no. You believe what you want to believe, and I think that's right for you. But this is what's right for me. Anyway, so those are the 6 elements in correspondence with the 6 worlds. Again, all the 6-spoke wheel Neotradition. And those 6 elements are, again, dominant in these worlds. They're not exclusive. Each world has their own elemental ecosystem, if you will. And each world also has a deity, which is the world, not over the world. And the deities are the... Sorry, I just picked up something I did not know was on this table. And it was pokey. Anyways, the deities are the world, not over it. And the deities are also the elements. So there is a deity for each world, each element, they're the same. And there's 6 of them. And so, our world is the right world, or the cold world. And our world is the direction of right. I just want to emphasize it's not right isn't correct. And the dominant element is cold. Again, it's not exclusively cold. We experience heat, energy, stillness, air, and soil. Now, what about this deity that is our world? Well, there's a lot about this deity, and a lot of it that I will not share to non-initiates. But I can share some stuff. So, this deity, again, can't emphasize this enough, is this world, not over it, not a separate entity, is this world. And this deity is quite interesting. I've been talking to them more and more recently. This deity is extremely... How do I put this? This deity is extremely knowledgeable and old, but not in a way that is so foreign. When I first started talking to this deity, I actually thought it was a really ancient ancestral group and not a deity, because this deity felt so familiar. This deity communicates, I should say, in every language here, both old and alive, dead and new. This deity is many forms, but in my experience has taken the form of multiple people at the same time. It's really hard to describe. But this deity is very connected to the land, because it is the land, I should say. Not connected, it is the land, but you will find this deity the most in not the soil, but the land itself. And I distinguish those two, even though they're scientifically not so different at all, because this deity, I feel like, is deeper than anything that we can measure. This deity is personal. Sorry if you can hear this person laughing in the background. This deity is personal. This deity is within everything, because it is everything in this world, not in the other worlds. This deity will not shun you, but it will not welcome you with open arms, if that makes sense. This deity is more complicated than either of those things. And with that poetic rant aside, I'm now going to talk about working with this deity in this world interchangeably in magic, ritual, and just everyday witchery. So, for everyday witchery, it's kind of obvious, at least to me, that you are doing everyday witchery by just being in this world, because this world is this deity. But aside from just existing, there are other things that are more on the mundane side, if you will, that you can do to connect with this deity. So, the biggest thing that I've recently started doing, and I love it, is going outside, or you could be inside for this, honestly, but I like going outside. It's just a preference. Anyway, going outside and being in a solitary space and just standing and tilting your head a bit in a way that it's not usually tilted to get you out of the autopilot mode, and just experiencing the world around you and noticing what elements are around you. And this could work if you do fire, earth, water, air paradigm, fire, earth, water, air, spirit paradigm, the 6 spoke elements paradigm, another paradigm I haven't mentioned, no elements, whatevs. This could work for all things, and I'll explain how you can do it with no elements in just a little bit. But I love doing this because it really helps me to just feel my environment and not only feel my body, but feel everything as if it was all my body. This could be seen as meditation. I don't see it as meditation, but if you want to see it as meditation, you do you. And what I do with, and what you can do if you believe in elements, but what I do with elements is I notice, okay, I get the elements like brought up in my head, and I'm like, how does the cold feel right now? And again, you can do this with any set of elements. I'm just using mine as an example. How does the cold feel right now? How do I feel that? Where is that? Who is embodying this? Not just who as in other human beings, but everything. And then I do that for all the elements. And I notice as I'm doing this, if any elements are more prominent in this particular space, if they're more equal, or if one is really out of proportion, or if they're somewhere in between, which it's usually that. But not always. And if you have no elements to do this with, I'd recommend just feeling everything as one. If you don't believe in elements, you can just feel everything as one singular element, quote unquote, and just feel how it differs in the space you're in. So that's my biggest tip for mundane witchery with this world. Again, really recommend that. And then magic or spellcraft. I really like to call upon specific directions, deities, worlds, elements, etc., whatever word you want to use, and be like, hey, I'm gonna do something, and I think you, in correspondence to your element or yourself, I guess, would really approve of this, or like align personally with this. And I would appreciate it. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it if you would give this a little oomph. A little, you know. So it depends on the direction I found, how much they say yes. But for this world, I really do find that they are inclined to agree the most. That doesn't mean you should demand agreement or expect agreement, but I do find that this world is more inclined to help us because we are a part of this world. And that can work with a lot of different spells, but I'd make sure you actually mean when you say that it would align with the direction or element. Again, this can work for different elements and different deities, etc. But I would make sure you actually mean it and you're not just saying it because you want some, like, help you can just ask another deity for. I did that once when I was a little earlier. My practice did not go well. I didn't, like, die, but, you know, just don't do it. So yeah. And another thing with spellcraft and magic I find that works well with this world is just, even if it's not something that you want this world to, quote, actively participate in, just acknowledging, like, I'm doing this in this world, even though I'm doing this. You may be doing it in a liminal space. You could say, even though I'm doing it in a liminal space, I am part of this world, and I'm from this world, and I acknowledge that, and I appreciate that. That usually gives it a bunch of oomph. And it's just good for you. Like, it just makes the spell and you better, in my opinion. And then ritual or, like, miscellaneous. Just honor this world. I don't really have that much for ritual here because a lot of the rituals I do are either mundane or spellcraft. I don't do, like, a bunch of gray area stuff. At least for this world, I do some other gray area stuff that's more common for different entities. But I'll have to get back to you on that one. I don't even know why I brought that one up. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all liked this. And I hope y'all have a great time wherever you are. A great next 24 hours. A great moon cycle. And yeah, bye.